Hello everybody, and as you can see, today is our third and fourth place match, and our players are our Zerg powerhouses, Soulkey and Hero. I'm Nyoken, joined by Scan. And Scan, I'm sure we're going to have the translations with the players in just a second. Maybe not. Well, what do you think about today's matchup?
Well, today's matchup, I'm interested to see whether Soulkey still has gonna be confirming or proving to us that he has actually improved in ZVZ matchup, because in the previous seasons, like ASL Season 1 through all the way to Season 13, he always had a problem playing against the Zerg matchup, getting knocked out by Queen, getting knocked out by other Zerg players. But this season, he has shown us such a great performance since round of 24, taking Dashik down, Queen down, Soma down in round of 16, and then he's finally here. So I would like to see whether he can prove to us or whatnot.
Yeah, he's taken down a lot of the Zerg superstars. And as you can see, tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next week, on Saturday, not Sunday, and a couple hours earlier, it's going to be Royal versus Rush. That's going to be an epic TVT, because we've seen great TVTs from both sides. We saw Rush versus Light in the round of 8. We saw, I think, Royal maybe in the round of 24 or round of 16 versus Sharp, in one of the best games I've ever seen on Butter. Just gonna be a fantastic day of TVT. Hope you guys are all excited. And of course, this sign here says there are over 500 tickets available. So if you happen to be in Korea, definitely consider trying to come to the ASL and see the finals in person.
And yes, there's some information is given. Take the line number 6 and get out of exit number 2 on the digital media CD station. And there's some other bus that you can take to come over to this the studio. Would be those number at the bottom right corner, the blue one, the blue bus, 171, 172, and 271, 673, and so on. Feel free to check it out later on. And tickets are gonna be selling on October 5th, Wednesday on 5 p.m. and 514 seats available.
I didn't realize that tickets hadn't gone on sale yet, so you've got a couple more days to get ready, locked online, and just spamming that refresh button trying to buy them ASAP as soon as it comes online. And we get a look at how the round of 8 went down. You can see Royal took down Shine, then Royal took down Soulkey. That was a crazy series. And then Bisu versus Soulkey in first round of 8, then Light versus Rush, Snow versus Hero. Rush versus Hero also delivered in TVZ. Both our semifinals were epic, and that's how we get here. And we see we've got Butter and Premier picked for Soulkey. Meanwhile, Odyssey and Nemesis picked for Hero. And I think it's fitting that if we get to Game 5, for all the marbles, it's going to come down to Arkanoid.
Yeah, Arkanoid is gonna be one of the maps. A lot of people maybe consider what exactly you guys have to do in the ZVZ matchup, because it's pretty much like a semi-island. You have to kill the neutral building to go out with the Zergling. But something that I found was Zerglings takes down the neutral building really fast. So maybe we might have some potential chance that one of the other players might go for some type of like a Zergling rush in the early stage of the game.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Is when we saw the first game of Arkanoid this season, we had somebody go for a one-hat play, just non-stop links, and I was thinking like, wow, I don't remember Zerg being able to take down buildings that quickly. In the future, if Arkanoid's edited, maybe they could consider like stacking the temples, where you still gotta kill the temples to get out, but make it a little bit harder for one base. Just thought. We get a look at Soulkey's profile. You can see he's got, even though Zero, our Queen, and Queen talks smack every single season about his CVC, it's basically 58 or 50%, 48.6. I mean, that's pretty darn good. And then of course he's even better at Zerg versus Protoss and Zerg versus Terran. And meanwhile, similar thing with Hero here, 53% win rate versus Zerg, but monster mode versus Protoss, because he can pump out those drones and build those Hydras with the best of them.
This guy also had some problem in a ZVZ matchup in a couple seasons ago, where he got knocked out by Larva 4-0, I believe, and some other games like Hero versus Larva. Hero had the huge advantage with the build order strategy wise, but he ended up losing because of the multitasking. How Larva was just constantly sending the Zergling every single location and just drawing the attention here and there, and Middleless just went for the backstab and picking up some drone and so on. But still, Hero has been showing great ZVZ matchup versus other players, and he has pretty decent record there too, 53% I believe.
Yeah, I was also looking at the match history of Hero last night, and it was 4-0 with Larva. And then I think he also lost to Queen 3-1 in one of the most recent, ASLs. But then he got revenge, taking down Queen 3-2 in the season afterwards. So definitely no slouch in ZVZ. And as I mentioned, I think a couple times in the previous broadcast, also has a bag of builds. I think Hero was the one that proxied a hatchery on one of the maps we saw in previous seasons. So he can be sneaky in ZVZ. Players putting on their headsets. They both got the jacket on. No ABC chocolate for either one, so no power spike for either one of them. But the jacket power flowing through them. I think we'll be getting into game one in just a second because players seem ready.
Yeah, I think Hero is completely ready to play, and Soulkey is finally seems ready to play. He's putting his noise cancellation on. And once we get the signal, we're gonna go into the game number one. Soulkey versus Hero on Butter.
And in the top right of our first game of our third and fourth place match, it is Soulkey. And meanwhile, in the bottom right, trying to go for 3 third places in like the past 4 seasons, it is Hero. We've got ZVZ, of course. I'm looking at that Overlord pattern, which I always do in ZVZ. Looks like Hero's got his angled a little bit more towards the natural, whereas Soulkey, he just wants to go directly to the main.
And that is correct. And from the previous season, I saw Hero was doing some type of like a overpull gas into hatchery and then making the Zergling to hatch all in Zergling versus Queen, I believe, and that strategy did not work out well. But I wonder if Hero is going to be doing that once again. And Soulkey, this guy will go for 9 pull this time, and Hero is making the overload production on the way. 1 minute 3 seconds spawning pull, slightly faster than usual. Usually the spawning pull starts at 1 minute 4 seconds, so 1 second faster with the spawning pull time.
And we see match history from season 13. Soulkey actually took down Hero 4-3, if I read that correctly. And we do have both Overlords intercepting each other. I thought Hero's Overlord was more angled to the left, but I guess not. Both players going directly to each other's main. Meanwhile, Overlord already out for Hero, so now he's going to start angling it. But that was an overpull from Hero. No gas just yet. So, okay, there we go, there it is. He's going to take a gas now, so that means Soulkey's going to have maybe like 20 more gas, something like that, and just slight advantage in terms of Zergling count initially, but overall, Hero's going to have a slightly better economy, so I like his position a bit better.
Hero is going for 11 hatchery after the 12 pull build, and Soulkey, I wonder if this guy will go for the metabolic boost on the way immediately, or, I mean, throughout the season, I mean, he has been showing all those aggressive playstyle with the Zergling metabolic boost on the way, but I guess this time he changed his thought. He would like to try out with the 9 pull, 6 link into lair. So whenever you do this type of build, you want to make about maximum 10 link first into a drone production to catch up in an economy wise. And with this first 10 links, you can actually press pressure against your opponent who is actually playing greedy, like an overpull or 12 pull or something like a 12 hatchery. And Hero immediately cancels out the lair type because he does not know whether this is metabolic boost or lair tech first.
Yeah, now he does get into the main and see that it is lair, so he could have gone into lair himself, but regardless, this is fine for him. He's going to be going into speed. And Soulkey, at some point, he's going to need to back off because once speed kicks in, he does not want to fight versus Hero. He definitely doesn't want to be caught too far across the map because if those lings get back to the main, into the drone line, he'll be in trouble. But Soulkey not actually putting on any pressure here. He's just going to back off, realizing that, of course, there's an Overlord in his main, and he sees that there's no speed. Spire goes down, and we're going to have 2-hatch Ling Flood for now. Hero's not even mining gas, so that means that we are going to have Evolution Chamber follow-up for him.
One thing that I noticed was Soulkey did not make any of a drone production after the first 10 links, so he's pretty much balancing out the gas with the 2 drone mining at the extractor, and Soulkey's also confirming whether Heroes has gone for the lair attack or whatnot, and finally he figures there's a lair attack, and Hero does have quite a lot of Zerglings, and Soulkey now finally done saturating with the 1 hatch. The optimization, you only need 6 drone on a mineral field and 3 on gas, so that's the perfect amount of drone worker count for your 1 hatch muta build. And now Soulkey, I think he might gonna go for the timing attack when Hero is playing something like a drone man here and go for the support timing.
Yeah, I thought that those larvae could all be lings, and he might try and bust Soulkey because Soulkey doesn't seem to have an overwhelming amount of lings, and he even branched off 4 of them, which obviously would have been really hard to defend a Zergling Flood in its main. There's the Evolution Chamber, and we do have an attack. It caught Hero off guard. He was on hold position. Soulkey might just end it. Looks like he's got way more lings than I thought. Hero trying to get into a tight position right there, pulls off some drones to defend, but there's still way too many lings for Soulkey. 8 or so are left over, and he's knocking down drones left and right now.
Yeah, I mean, Hero Zergling was on a hold position and did not pay attention of his Zergling earlier when Soulkey was attacking, and now he lost his time of putting on the Kree colony. Okay, he does put down the Kree colony at the main, but where's your Kree colony at the natural? Those 2 Mutalisks are already on the way. Those 2 Zerglings from Soulkey's 2 Zergling are going to be drawing the attention and buying some time, and now Hero has to do some type of like a backstab move, but I think Soulkey should have that sunken colony at the main soon.
Yeah, this game might be over. I don't know how many mutas you need to kill the colony before it morphs into a spore, but even if he completes one of them, one of the colonies are not going to complete. Okay, actually both of them complete, surprisingly. So mutas are going to have to back off, and like you said, Soulkey's in defensive mode right now, trying to make sure that this Ling counterattack doesn't do overwhelming amounts of damage to his drone line. So far, he's done really good to defend that drone line. He didn't lose a single drone, I don't think, so great defense from him. But somehow, Hero ended up surviving that attack. I can't believe it. Now, this is unfortunate. That muta that's on hold position at the bottom side of the drone line is not firing at all because I guess it got shot by a spore initially, and it bugged out the AI.
Yeah, sometimes the units are just getting they're getting bugged out because of some other units were attacking. And I think Hero has to pull that muta away because the second colony was going up, and I wonder if Soulkey is gonna go for something like another Zergling Flood after this pressure, or is he just gonna be just the drone man and catch up with the economy wise with the second hatchery and the third hatchery together.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen a lot of games be this way in ZVZ in this ASL. A lot of Evolution Chamber games. And I don't think we've ever seen really anybody overcome the muta gap. And that's not where you want to put your Spire, I can tell you that. That is right next to the Spore that died. And that's a drone that gets instantly one-shotted. And again, another canceled building. Oh, he's just going to pounce on that Spore too. I guess he feels like he's got enough mutas to just overwhelm the natural. And he's right. That's going to be a dead Spore. He's going to try and force another Spore. But that's not going to get up in time. Meanwhile, all Hero can do is counterattack. With the drone drilling, the mutas pop out at the perfect time. I think Soulkey's going to take game 1.
Yeah, those Zerglings are trying. They are very desperate of taking down Soulkey's drone, but that's still not enough damage that how much he has done. Hero cannot mine, or he does actually have those Spore colony will be going up on time to defend the natural, but the number of the Mutalisks count is just too large enough to constantly harass at the main or the natural or somewhere in between. But I feel Soulkey lost quite a lot of drone. I mean, he cannot produce any more of a mirrorless production on the way. And now Hero, with the 2 hatch, he does have more larva advantage. Once he has enough drone, he might go for the second extractor and slowly catch up this game.
Yeah, I guess I called it a little bit too soon. I thought that the spores were going to die at the natural, but actually 2 of them have survived. And like you said, the second time around, those Lings did get some drone kills, but meanwhile, Lings get into the main, and the Mutas have done a good job to cut off Lings from coming back to save them. Look at this focus fire onto the drones. He gets 3 of them. The Spore is still taking damage from a single Zergling. It's dealt so much damage, it's now going to get 2-shotted almost by these Mutas. And again, the Spire's open. And he desperately needs to get these Mutas out. Otherwise, that's a dead Spire.
Yeah, that Spire is just pretty much gone. But we see lots of eggs are going to be turning into Excursion. Will Soulkey respond on time? And yes, he does. Okay, he does lose 1 Muta.
Yeah, but he can definitely afford.
Okay.
Dead Spire.
Yeah, the Spire is going to be dead, and now... Oh, wait a minute. That's quite a lot of Scourge and the Mutalist are now out on the map. Maybe his hero might gonna be flip the table around, and those Connor Zergling attack does not work out well because Soulkey, he knows he cannot make additional Mutalist on here. He's just going to be squeezing all those larvae for the Zergling production for the counter attack, but... I mean, what can he really do for Soulkey? I mean, with this number of Zergling, can he actually go for the counter attack?
I think if Hero can get some more... Oh no, he used the Scourge onto the Overlords, but like you said, Soulkey's drone count, it's terrible. It's at 4 on the mineral line, but Ling get into the main again, and Drone Man has nothing to defend with. He's gonna force to fight with drones. The drones can't evacuate because the Mutas are here making sure that they can't leave. Mutas get off some free shots, but the Mutas actually get back to the mineral line and will be able to defend it, but it's a merry-go-round. He's just going to loop back to the backside, and now he's going to try and take down the natural.
Yeah, those Hero Zergling, the yellow Zergling will just die apart, and now Spore Colony will fall apart as well. And now Hero is going to go for the backstab move, and I think Soulkey lost the track of those Heroes Mutalists. Soulkey is just going to be ending the game here.
Yeah, well, Soulkey may try and end the game, but he might lose all of his drones in the process. Now, what does he do? Because these drones are dead. He's going to be not mining in a second. Instead, he's just going to go for it. I think that's a smart move, but Spores are very strong. He's got to be careful with his Lings. Can't lose them. Oh my gosh, I guess some Scourge connected on those Mutas, or somehow they got heavily damaged. That Spore dies, and that means that both players are basically going to have no drones, but there's 6 Mutas left over, and Soulkey, he will take game 1.
Fantastic move by Soulkey with the backstab move and try to go for the base trade scenario. And one of the mistakes that Hero made in this game number 1 would be Zerglings were on hold position when Soulkey was attacking at his natural, and that time it was significantly needed for... The time was needed for Hero to put down the Kree colony and morph into a Spore colony, but he lost all this time.
Yeah, he got flustered at that point. It was definitely the game-deciding move right there, but the Ling counterattack, I think the second time, did get a lot of drones. I was surprised to see how low the drone count was for Soulkey. Hero, once he got those Spores up at the natural, I thought, wow, really? Did he actually bring it back? And this is the move that you're talking about. All these Lings are on hold position. I mean, it's not very many hits additionally that Soulkey got, but in ZVZ, every hit is so important.
And also, I would like to mention about the arc as well. The Zergling arc when the opponent is attacking is also important, and that actually has more surface area for Soulkey to attack on Hero's army as well too.
Yeah, and I don't know if you caught the drone count in that attack. It was 10 to 16. I mean, 16 drones is a low number in general, but in ZVZ, that's quite a lot, and Drone Man got punished there. We're going to be going into Game 2 in a second. I don't know if we're going into commercial. Okay, we are, so we'll be back in a couple minutes. was a quick break, and we're already back.
And this is the ASL Season 14 third place match right now, and sponsored by Hot 6. And this is MC Lee Hyun. She is summarizing about the game number 1 with Soulkey's aggressive playstyle against Hero, defensive playstyle with the 12-pull 2-hatch build order. And yeah, Soulkey managed to go for the timing attack before the sport calling goes up, and that was very good. And there's a winner's prediction. Winner's prediction, you can do it on Africa TV Sports page. If you get the winner's prediction correct, you get the ASL mini fan. And a lot of audience are guessing Hero will be winning of this third place match against Soulkey. 56% and 44% are expecting Soulkey gonna be win the game as well too. And also more information about ASL Season 14 final. October 8th, Saturday, 5 p.m. Korea time, of course. Sangam Africa TV Coliseum Studio. Tickets are going to start selling at October 5th. Wednesday, 5 p.m. 514 seats are available. Please check it out on time and get those tickets if you guys are interested of checking out and watch this live game.
Alright, we're going to be going into game 2 in just a second. I'm trying to remember what our second map was. I know that all of the new ASL maps are in the specified. We've got Butter, Nemesis, or Odyssey, Nemesis, Arkanoid, of course, the last map. I can't remember exactly which map 2. I feel like Hero picked all the weird ones, so I think it's actually Odyssey.
Yeah, Odyssey, of course, 2-player map once again. And I feel like Soulkey is really strong. It's 2-player map. He took down Dashik. He took down some other players in round of 16. I don't know whether it was Soma or Queen, but yeah, I feel like Soulkey seems much stronger in a smaller map compared to the 4-player map.
Well, he may just like, or he may be better using that intelligence that he has with the Overlord, you know, going directly to each other's names. We'll see if he can get a second win here, or if Hero's going to tap the score 1-1. Hero's pick, it's going to be Odyssey. Well, I'm trying to think, have we seen any ZVZ games on Odyssey yet? We've got Soulkey at the top right and Hero at the bottom left, but this is an interesting map because they don't have to expand to their natural anymore to get that second gas. They've got an additional extractor or an additional gas in their main.
And that is absolutely true of what you were mentioning about. So whenever you like to go for something like the 1 base 2 gas, then you most likely would like to go for the overlord into a gas and then 10 spawning pool. But here's the one thing that we have to know: if opponent is going for something like an overlord into gas build, then whenever opponent goes for 12 hatchery, you are pretty much winning with the build order fight. So there's kind of like a triangle shape of this ZVZ mind game where, whether you want to play aggressive or whether you want to be playing something like a super greedy with the 12 hatchery, or you want to go for like something like in the between offensive and a defensive playstyle with the overlord into gas. But looks like Soulkey has gone for the 9-pull build once again, and Hero has made an overlord. Will he go for the gas? Then no, he hasn't gone for the gas yet, so he will be making more likely either 12-pull or 12 hatchery.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that over gas build, because every time you've mentioned it, it just seems like it's such a powerful build, but not going to see it this time. And we've got that 9-pull opener again, and this time around, despite having the extra gas in his main, he's going to go for a hatchery at the natural. And this is a 2-player map. The rush distance is pretty darn close. Oh man, Hero's in trouble. He's going to have some big-time micro here to try and defend this.
I guess Soulkey is the guy who's really expert in a 2-player map with the mind game as well. Once again, he will be winning, but whether this guy will go for the metabolic boost or the layer tech on the way, just like game number 1. And I'm looking at his mineral on the Vespin gas, and he just spent that on the Vespin gas for the metabolic boost. So this time, he's doing the other way around.
And that's exactly what you want here, right? You want to have that additional speed so you can reposition those lings, knock down the hatchery. And if there's ever a moment where the lings are out of position for Hero, we could see 2 to 4 lings just run directly to the main and start ravaging that drone line. But because it is a 2-player map, Soulkey does have to take the long route away from the Overlord, and that could give Hero a couple more seconds to get some lings up. But as you can see, lings are almost already at the natural, and even the 7th and 8th lings haven't been spotted.
Okay, now all of those Zerglings were not envisioned to see for Hero, and Hero is making. No, he was making the layer attack. He was making the layer attack and then canceled it immediately, so we can see his Vespene gas. The bank has turned into an odd number, so he did lost that 25 Vespene gas earlier, and now trying to do the drone drill. But the Zerglings are attacking, but none of the drone has died. But another once again drone drill, picking up another two, 3. That's quite a lot of drone.
Yeah, and speed kicks in. And how many lings are left for Soulkey? I think it's 8 versus 8 right now, but he killed so many drones, dude. There's only 2 mining. None of them are mining gas. That was really good defense right there from Hero, but he's just so far down in terms of the economy. Actually, he's mining his minerals quite well. He's got 7 drones worth of mining on the minerals, but he has absolutely none on gas. And look at this. The Overlord spots Hero out of position and instant counterattack.
Yeah, and now the metabolic takes about 63 seconds to finish it, so Hero kind of needs about like another 10 seconds to finish that metabolic boost. But those Zerglings get surrounded, picking out 2 drones. But I mean, losing that much of a mining time for Hero is just so crucial for him. I mean, he had 12 drones when he had 12 drones total when 8 Zerglings were attacking, but he lost 5 drones, so remaining was 7, but now he has only remaining 6 or 5 drones remaining, so this is completely all in from Hero.
Yeah, and I don't even think Soulkey needs this sunken colony, but he's got such a lead, he doesn't want to risk it. He may end up canceling, seeing how well he's trading on this high ground. Now, this is a cute move. I don't think I've ever seen somebody hold position half their lings and then micro the other half, but that was really genius play there. And we do see that the colony does finish, so that's a lost drone for Soulkey, but he's in such a good position. It's probably not going to come back to bite him, but it is ZVZ. And, every drone does matter in ZVZ, so if there is some way that Hero recovers, Soulkey may be kicking him for that colony later on. Now, Evolution Chamber I haven't seen anywhere. Okay, it's just now starting, but the Spire, Yudo's going to be pumping out in just a second.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed from Soulkey was he had only 7 drones remaining that was mining on the mineral and the gas, so he didn't make any of a drone after that Zergling flood with the 9 speed, and now he's trying to saturate here. I guess he wants to move into something like a laking potential. Soulkey knows he's having such a huge advantage, so maybe he's just gonna be making 1 or 2 middles and kill some of the Overlord at the center of the map, and maybe he will go for the expansion, or maybe he might change his thought and go for another Zergling flood once again.
Yeah, he could do that, but Hero's, he's got almost even supply now, and looking at how much gas Soulkey mined, it doesn't seem like he's even able to build more than 2 or 3 Mutalisks. So actually Soulkey's going to take the back base, and I think that's a cool idea in the sense that this is a protected base, but we talked about this in one of the previous games. I can't remember exactly what series it was, but that hatchery, lings can't be built out of there at any point because they're not going to be able to get out of that base. So it's going to have to be only drones or Mutalisks, and if there is ever a ground army fight where he needs lings, that base is not going to help him.
Well,
is he double expanding?
Well, don't tell me he's gonna be taking 3 base maximum. Well, this is just completely disgusting from what I'm seeing. 3 base Zerg versus 2 base. Well, yeah, Hero might have some potential chance that he will have like 3 gas and having a bunch of Mutalisks count later on. But 4 gas Muta is just completely disgusting, I would have to say.
Well, I think the purpose of this extra hatch is to make it look like, okay, I'm just expanding normally, but we know that there's actually a 3rd hatch here. And Soulkey has no way to scout it because the Overlord got popped. So, I don't think Hero was deep enough in the main for long enough to see that Soulkey actually pulled off of gas for a long time. So he doesn't know that it's literally just 2 mutas. Like there's not 7 like there were last game. So he could. I'm looking at how many lings Hero has. Like if he was to move out with and just go for it, I think he could actually deal a lot of damage because he's got at least twice as many lings as Soulkey right now.
And here the bunch of drones are going to be slowly getting saturated at the Hero's natural. But Hero does not have any intel except for knowing that there's a hatchery at the natural. So he's just somewhat worried about whether he has to go for the lair tech. Okay, he finally goes for the lair tech at 7 minutes 50 seconds. And that is such a delayed lair tech for Hero and Soulkey. He's just going to be slowly being saturated with this 3 base maximum. And I don't know how Hero's gonna be going for the counterattack.
Yep, and that's what Soulkey was waiting for, is he wanted to get those lings into the main. He saw an opening, and he's able to sneak 2 in, and those are in hold position again! No way he gets that drone. He does! So hold position backfiring again for Hero, losing 1 drone.
Yeah, those drones are now completely saturated at the behind expansion, and now Soulkey is taking an extractor at the natural, but Hero doesn't know yet. But it just doesn't seem too good for Hero's position. I mean, with the 3 hatch, okay, maybe this number of Zerging might gonna go for the counterattack, but the Mutalisk has to be out of position for Hero to go for the counterattack. Okay, some of the Zergings will go out, and Soulkey misses it.
Yeah, he did miss it. But this is a lot of mutas now. It's 4, and they one-shot lings critically. Now look at that move. He's using the lings to try and push in, and then comboing with the mutas, picking off a couple additional lings. Now, the lings didn't even attempt to get near the temples, but I'm curious if the lings did get near the temples, would they have been able to see the creep? Drones, one of them ended up falling, but that's it. And coming into the main, he's not going to really see anything unusual.
Yeah, Zergling just confirms there are a decent amount of worker count at the main, but he does know about the behind expansion. Maybe Hero might be expecting this game might be doable for him to make some combat, because he knows, okay, you have 9 drone at the main, but no drone at the natural. I have a lot of drone. I have 3rd hatchery being morphed at the main. I'm gonna be adding more spore colony with the 2 extractor being mined, and maybe Hero might be overconfident with the meter count later on.
Yeah, Hero's like really done a really good job to recover. He's got a good drone count. He's got a good ling count. The problem is his tech is just so slow. Like the lair well, it's not necessarily just finished. The Spire's about to finish, but there's already 8 mutas and +1 armors already done for Soulkey, which is a massive upgrade in ZVZ. Ling again sneaks into the main, and he's gonna see, okay, dude, I have 3 hatches. You don't have a 3rd hatch. There must be something missing. And this time around, he sees the bad news. Creep is at that 3rd base, and it's been spread for a while. So now he knows that it's not just 3 hatch versus 3 hatch. It's 3 gas, potentially 4 gas versus just 3 gas in total.
And now Hero does have some Mutalisks out on the map, but look at the supply count. I mean, 67 versus 46. Hero, he might want to confirm whether there's how much of a drone is being saturated and how much of a gas has been mined or meter count are out on the map to check out at the 12 o'clock. And now he sees drones are completely saturated. Okay, you've been mining with the 3 gas, and now Hero knows this game might not be doable for him.
Yeah, 20 supply lead for Soulkey. ZVZ, that's a ridiculous lead. You're going to have more than just a couple Scourge connections to win a fight. You're going to have like an entire fleet of Mutalisks get picked off by Scourge, which we know at pro level, that just can't happen. And then also he has to overcome the already +1 armor upgraded Mutalisks of Soulkey. This is a lot of mutas moving into the natural. Nope, actually going to back off. I think he was trying to see if the mutas were there, and once he spotted them, he's just backing off for now because he knows he just has a massive lead.
Wow, now there's a second the main base second extractor is going out for Soulkey. This is going to be 4 gas Zerg in next 1 minute or so, and now Hero, he's trying to look for look for a spot where he can actually sneak out some of the Mutalists and go for the counter attack and pick up some drone. But I guess Soulkey is just gonna go for trade here, picking up one of the Spore Colony. That's a 2 group of Muta Micro, excellent. And now those Mutalists are gonna be attacking on the hatchery.
Yeah, and did you see that splash damage? It killed all of the drones on the gas. And there's the Queen's Nest. I was about to say, I think the only way Hero can recover here is to go into Queen's Nest, go into that hive tech, whether it's Ensnare or Devours or Plague, and then pray that Soulkey goes just pure mutas. Literally no hive tech at all, which he is.
Yeah, hive tech is on the way, but the bad news about it would be Soulkey might just gonna have that +2 armor in maybe in next 1 minute. And these number of mutas are just gonna be finding out one of the great spot and go for picking up the drone. And Extractor is also exposed, and Hero cannot protect his second gas either.
Yeah, and actually, you remember the lair that he upgraded was heavily damaged from the Lynx earlier on. I was hoping that he was just going to kill that hatchery, the hive morphing. That would have been hilarious. +2, what was that? +2 armor power spike thing for Soulkey, and this is going to be the big fight. It's just way too many mutas. It doesn't matter how many spores are here. There's just not enough defense for Hero, and he's going to lose game 2, and that's going to put Soulkey 1 game away from taking our 3rd and 4th place match.
Soulkey is on point with the 2-player map, with the 9-pool build. Every decision making what he was doing. 9-pool air, it works. 9-pool speed, it also works. And Hero is just needs to fix his mindset and how he needs to approach in game number 3, because game number 3, the map is chosen by Soulkey, the Vermeer, and Vermeer is a common map and everyone knows it's kind of like a comfortable map for both of the players, but it's a Soulkey's peak, so there's somewhat having some like a map favor towards the Soulkey with the map understanding.
Yeah, and with him being 1 game away, and he's shown 2 aggressive 9-pool builds, now Hero's got to start thinking about, okay, well, what are you planning for this map? Are you going to try and be aggressive again? Or were you going for 9-pool to set us up, or to set you up for a greedy opener, going to 12 hatch? The mind game is really going to be kicking in game 3. I think we're going to go into the Hot 6 commercial, because if we don't, we're not going to be able to go into it later, and there it is, of course. Well, if you're in Hero's shoes, what do you think he needs to change going into game 3? Because so far, his plans have been just completely thrown off. Both games he even had to cancel, what was it, Lair in both of them? So, I mean, Soulkey really just out mind gaming him in both our games so far.
Or I would like to see Hero trying out something like a over gas into 9-pool, where you can start their lair attack and a metabolic boost at the same time and go for some type like a Zerglin counter attack, a surprise attack. But he hasn't done any sort of move like that. He has been just playing something like a greedy move with the 12 pool, with a 2 hatch or 12 hatchery. But all those kind of like a defensive greedy play style, what Hero has done, things just did not work out well. So why not just play offensive and try to make things work out, like offensive versus offensive, and potentially showing I have better Muta Micro or maybe Zergling Micro and try to end the game or pop the game in the early stage of the game. But I don't know what exactly Hero would like to do in game number 3, because he's just on a match point score. If he loses this game, then he's end of the journey.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Hero also has to be aggressive here, because the passive style is just not working for him. And if you can't just continue to go for something that's not working, right? And that kind of makes me feel like Soulkey's going to read that, and he's going to be able to know, like, okay, I know you're going to be aggressive this time around. And I feel like he's going to come up with a counter. So this is really a tough situation for Hero. At least he's got a 4-player map. So if he, for some reason, does try to play defensively or try to play like a 12-hatch build, maybe he can get cross spawns, luckily, and get that base up and running. But yeah, I agree also. I think that overpool or that overgas could be a good opening, because it just seems like in general that build seems to have like no hard counters to it.
It looks like they're ready to drink for this Hot 6 commercial. And let's see who's gonna be drinking faster, the audience or those commentators.
But that's not something you see every day. Dang, he killed that real quick.
And I guess the audience were the one has to be drinking first, and then now here the casters gonna be chugging on those Hot 6. Hopefully it doesn't hurt their health and condition. 'Cause I believe Hot 6 has some I don't know how much of a caffeine it has in those Hot 6, but hopefully they're okay every time they're drinking it.
Well, I'm sure Soulkey and Hero could use a boost of caffeine, especially Hero, because he needs to wake up for Game 3. This is his last life. Otherwise, he's out. I mean, 4th place is still fantastic, but, you know, he definitely wants to get that 3rd place. And Soulkey, man, he's got to be feeling fantastic about this season. Whether he wins or loses this series, he's taken down almost all of the Zerg superstars just himself. He wants to add Hero to that list, and he's 1 game away. So he could definitely do it. And based on what I'm seeing today, I mean, he's definitely bringing it to Hero, and Hero has no counterplay. We're going to be going into a break. We'll be back in just a minute. And we are back. Feels like we just started our series, yet here we are. 2-0 for Soulkey. It's just the nature of the beast in ZVZ. Sometimes the series can end quickly. And he's got Hero cornered. Hero has no answer so far to Soulkey. And Soulkey, man, can anybody beat him in ZVZ this season? It doesn't feel like it.
And we are seeing some of the foreigners are here and rooting for Soulkey here. Some other fans from Spain and some other countries. And lots of Heroes fans on this side too. NSU fans rooting for. I don't know whether on the behind guy. I don't know whether that guy is Stork because the facial shape kind of seems like a Stork, but quite not sure. And lots of fans are here, but Hero should not give up because some other fans came all the way here from far distance. Busan, 420 kilometers away. From the studio, from his house, and he's rooting for Hero.
Yeah, somebody asked me in my chat yesterday if I'd ever been to Busan. Never have been, but wanted to. So nice to see fans traveling up all the way from Busan. It's at the very bottom of Korea. It's like literally the farthest away from Seoul. So fans really coming far and wide to see their Zerg superstars do work. And this time around, it's Soulkey doing work, and I don't have high hopes for Hero so far because Soulkey's just a beast. But if anybody can bring it back in ZVZ, I think it is Hero. But he needs to turn on the juice right now because this is it for him. He must win here, otherwise it's over and it's going to be a 3-0.
Soulkey. Okay, both of the players are now ready. We're going to be moving into game number 2. Soulkey versus Hero on Vermeer. Let's see.
So in the top, or in the bottom right, I mean, he is one game away. It is Soulkey. And in the bottom left, we have our blue Zerg. It is Hero. And critically for Hero, Soulkey not going in the correct direction. I'm looking to see, is either player going for a weird scout? You can see Hero's going to top left, which would overlook the natural. Meanwhile, it is a weird scout from Soulkey because he's going top right. And that doesn't really really overlook the natural at all. He just would be going directly to the main.
Yeah, Soulkey is just gonna do some mind game here with the Overlord Scout pattern. Whenever someone is doing the reverse scout, I'm expecting to see some the guy who's doing the reverse scout will go for 12 hatchery most likely if he does not get to see the Overlord coming from 1 o'clock. And whenever he does not see the Overlord coming from the 3 o'clock side, then he will be directly turning that Overlord direction to the center of the map and maybe go for 12 hatchery.
Yeah, we do see players often just instantly swing that Overlord to the center of the map once the Overlord's not spotted, and that is, I think, Overpool right from Soulkey. And Hero, again, he's going for an economic opener. I thought for sure we were going to see him try and be the aggressor because the defensive playstyle just has not worked out at all. Ooh. But it's going to be a 12 pull. This is middle of the road. So, okay, now I like this a little bit more. It's at least not a 12 hatch.
Well, here's something that I noticed. Soulkey is doing one of the build that Hero has done in the previous season, and which was overpull into 2 hatchery and then extractor and then just doing the Zergling rush only and not even planning to go for alert tech whatsoever. And this type of build is very, very good against someone who's going for 9 pull build. And you have the Zergling count to defend and don't even have to pull out any of the drone to defend the 9 pulling rush. But now here are the number of the drone. 1 base 9 drone is 9 drone is more than enough to make the Zergling flood.
Yeah, well, this time around, don't think either player is going to be able to get a lot of damage done with their Lings initially. So we may go into an actual mid game in ZVZ. You can see that the hatcheries have both gone down for both players. Similar timing. Got Lings, a couple Lings out for Soulkey, and trying to see, has anybody spent their gas? We see Hero has spent his gas, and it is going to be for speed. Meanwhile, Soulkey, he's also going to go for speed.
Yeah, both of the players will be just sending one of the Zerglings to figure out whether the opponent is located at here or not. And both of the players are sending the Zergling across the map. And Hero might be thinking, oh, you're doing the 12 build, because Hero is doing the 12 build and pretty much the build is identical. But the one thing that we have to know is here's the one going for the lair tag with after the metabolic boost, and he does have more drone count. And if Hero ever thinks Soulkey was playing something like a 12 build and something like a mirror build, then if he's droning up after this, then he may end up dying of this Zergling flood.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. You can't over drone. And Soulkey right now has way more links. It's not even close. For sure there's way more links. At least 4 in favor of Soulkey. And we are going to have an engagement, but speed kicked in for Hero slightly faster, so he's going to be able to escape. Somehow, a Ling sneaks into the main. Luckily for Hero, it's only 1, so it's not going to be that hard to deal with. But you can see he is scrambling to get up a sunken colony.
And one of the Zergling will be buying some time, and maybe Hero somehow read off the game correctly here that there is going to be the Zergling flood was coming and he was placing down the Kirk colony, but will he be able to defend? And I think the answer is yes. I see the number of the blue Zergling count seems large enough to hold off at the natural. And now Soulkey is catching up with the lair tech on the way. Hero lost quite a lot of mining time pulling the drone earlier and cannot start the lair tech on the way.
Yeah, I thought Soulkey might have done it right there, but the drones being drilled through actually soaked up a lot of hits. But we've got another cycle of drones for Hero, whereas this is a Ling flood from Soulkey. Remember in the Butter game, it was 10 drones to 16. There was way too many drones built for Hero. This time around, I'm happy to see that he did build Lings from his main and natural. But is there still too much? I think the Sunken is really going to help, but maybe not. Drones coming in to help support. He picks off one of them, but you can see Soulkey's supply is way lower than Hero's right now, 22 to 17. But critically for Soulkey, he does have his lair done. Don't see a Spire anywhere though.
Yeah, both of the players should be starting the Spire tech on the way, but the one thing that we have to know is the worker count lead for Hero, and I am checking on the number of the Zergling count for the red color. Will he be able to defend this many of Hero's Zergling counterattack?
Yeah, this is a really tough situation for Soulkey. Okay, he needs to not be out this far. He's going to try and engage. I think that's a mistake. Definitely needs to retreat back to his hatchery so he can at least have rally advantage from the hatcheries. Now we've got the Zergling dance between both players trying and find the best angle. Looks like every time Hero pokes in, he's got a slightly better angle, and we are going to have the engagement. I think there is slightly more Lings for Hero, and this could be finally Hero striking back. There's so many Lings left over. This is definitely going to be GG. There it is. And Hero fans, you're going to breathe a sigh of relief because Hero finally puts a point on the board.
That was a great decision making of Hero. I mean, I thought Hero was going to be diving into Soulkey's natural with his first 12 Zergling whenever he had the metabolic boost at the 4-minute mark of the game. But he somehow read up the game correctly that Soulkey was not going for the 12 build. Maybe the Zergling flood, the Zergling count was just too large, too much for Soulkey, that he was able to read off correctly, and he pulled back everything and was able to hold off Rel.
Yeah, when I saw the drones being pumped out after the initial attack from Soulkey, I thought, uh-oh. We've got Drone Man, he's going to over-drone again, but he read the situation perfectly, had the perfect amount of Ling count. Now watch these drones. They body block so much in the return cargo or in the return back, but oh, maybe did I misremember? I thought for sure that they body blocked. Maybe this was the second engagement, but regardless, good clutch defense there from here. Okay, I guess it was the second engagement right here.
A very good drone drill, and also defending the second attack, the second wave attack with the drone, and the number of the Zerglings were just morphing it. The number of the Zerglings were morphing in from the egg and was able to hold off well. And now this guy is rooting for Hero. GOAT, greatest I forgot what was it was stand for. Something
Greatest of all time.
great of all time, yeah. And I think we're gonna be going into the commercial break, and the next game will be played on Nemesis, and stay tuned, guys.
But we've got a series on our hands now. 2-1 still in favor of Soulkey, but finally Hero able to eke out a win. If Hero takes game 4, I actually think the comeback is real. And the reason I say that is that drone count of Soulkey, he just refuses to build drones after going for an aggressive opener. And I think if Hero can just get into a somewhat normal mid-game, it seems like he's just going to power away into a good mid-game state. So I think if Hero can get us a victory here, he's going to have a lot of momentum on his side, and he may have actually figured out the counter to Soulkey. But Soulkey's playing very well.
So far of this 3 games that I've seen, I feel like we didn't get to see a Mira battle. I would like to see the Mira battle this game because all those 3 games were pretty much ended because of the Zergling Flood or works or whatnot. If it doesn't work, then I lose. If it works, then I win. But yeah, I mean, none of the players have been playing like a mirror build and going for the like a Muta fight. But I would like to see who has better Muta micro between these 2 players, like Muta Scourge versus Muta Scourge.
Yeah, I would also like to see a big Muta battle. That would be epic, especially on Arkanoid. Players are ready. Get into game 4. It's going to be on Nemesis. In the top right, this time getting the correct scout pattern. Massive advantage. It's Soulkey, and meanwhile, unfortunately for Hero, scout pattern is going to backfire this time. He's in the bottom right.
And also, I would like to mention about the position would be Hero's natural expansion. The Vespene Geyser is on the right side, so you kind of want to have 4 workers on the right side of the Vespene Geyser. And probably Hero might not be interested of trying out something like a defensive playstyle with the Spore Colony because just things doesn't sync well. And for Soulkey's side, he can play the offensive playstyle or also play the defensive style with a 2 hatchery. And his Vespene Geyser is on the upper side, so he only needs 3 work on the Vespene Gas and have a correct mining worth of mining. And here's another fans rooting for forgot who he was rooting for. And yeah, he's the she is the financial supporter of the NSU and rooting for Soulkey. She wants Soulkey to win. And this time, first time seeing the Overgas.
Yep, this is the build that you were talking about earlier. And we've got it facing off versus Overpool. And so I'm seeing that extractor basically complete when Hero's extractor is about halfway done. So this is going to give Soulkey something like 48 additional gas, maybe something along those lines. So pretty similar builds. I don't think you can get really more similar than this. Then of course, opening exactly the same. Actually, it's more than I thought.
And with this build, I heard you can get the metabolic boost and the lair attack at the same time, and that kind of leads off the game where opponent cannot read your build order correctly, and whenever your Zerglings are overextended and you just constantly get you just lose all of your Zergling count. And Hero finally starts his lair attack, and we see Soulkey finishes the lair, finishes full lair, and metabolic should be starting together. Okay, one pair of Zergling, metabolic boost. Okay, no metabolic boost.
Yeah, no metabolic for him. So actually, he's going to use that additional gas to help him get, one more round of Scourge, one more round of Muta. I don't know about this though, because you can see he's pulled one off of his gas. So now he's only mining with 2 on gas, I think. Maybe not. But look at this. Hero has hidden 4 to 6 of the links on the left side, waiting for that Overlord to go out of range and then sneak out. This is a huge big brain move right there. And Soulkey's got to have his spidey senses tingling. Right now they're not though. He only has 2 lings versus 8.
Well, one thing that he would be able to catch would be, why don't you have that much of a drone on the mineral line? He only sees there are 7 drones on the mineral and 3 drones on the gas, and now Soulkey this time, he's the one has to be defending against this Hero's offensive playstyle. And the second Overlord will be spotting those number of Zerglings are coming on the way, and I don't think Soulkey can actually afford to build a Spire, because he needs to squeeze all of his larvae and resource for the number of the Zerglings. But the metabolic is done for Hero, and the concave doesn't seem too good for Soulkey to defend.
Well, we might be going into game 5 scan, because that's not a sunken, that's a Spire. He did not try and go for the sunken. He wanted to try and hold the ramp. That's an amazing drone drill, but there's just flat out too many lings, and that means that what was a 2-0 lead for Soulkey, that's evaporated. It is completely gone, and we are tied up. And now it comes down to Arkanoid, where neither player is able to go for lings. Well, I guess he can go for lings, but what I was gonna say is neither player's gonna have, I don't know, I guess he's a little bit different because he don't scout with drones, but Arkanoid, I don't know if you want to go into game 5 go into game 5 on that map at 2-2.
I feel like Soulkey misread off Hero's intention there. I mean, he saw that their attack was on the way, and he does not see there's not much of a drones around the mineral line, but I guess Soulkey was just too greedy with his build order versus Overpool.
Yeah, when that hatch went down in his main, I was like, damn, you got all that money for that, and you've got a Spire? That's nuts. But it backfired, and Hero gets another win, another like 5-minute win for him, and momentum heavily in his favor now. And you can see that Soulkey was really affected by that loss because he was shaking his head. He did an instant GG. He was processing like, how the hell did I let this slip? And I'm getting vibes to, I think, 2 seasons ago, where Soulkey was up 2-0 versus his nemesis Queen, and then he let it slip away. So we're going to be going into another break, and then we'll be back with our final game. As you can see, it's of course going to be an Arkanoid. We're going to find out who's going to finish in 3rd place this season.
And the funny part, well, I guess, yeah, we're going to be going into commercial break.
This is it. This is for all the marbles. And what map could be more fitting this season? It is Arkanoid. We've seen so many cool games, not just ZVZ, but also ZVT, ZVP on this map. And at least this being a semi-island, we should get a big macro game. But you never know. Those temples do die fast to lings. Maybe somebody could catch the opponent off guard with a ling flood.
And yeah, one of them, the island map. I had some conversation with Zalo before. The Zerkler Zalo, he told me on an island map. I thought the overpull gas was much better than the other build, but he told me that 11 pull extractor is much better than overpull gas because you may have about like a 20 to 30 less gas compared to the overpull gas, but with the 11 pull gas, then you have much of the mineral field where you can actually start your hatchery much faster and then also start your second gas much faster too. So I wonder how exactly both of the players are going to be approaching into this island map in the ZVZ matchup. And looks like players are ready. We're going to be moving to the last game of tonight. Soulkey versus Hero on your Arkanoid.
And in the top right, it is Need Money, aka Soulkey. And in the bottom left, our blue Zerg, it is Hero. And Arkanoid, definitely a concept map. You're going to have a lot of practice on here to come up with the most optimal builds. Overpool versus 11 pool, like you're talking about. I mean, those are just minor tweaks that you don't think about on other maps other than something like this, Arkanoid, where you also have to kill the cocoons to try and take your natural. Like, that also doesn't exist on other maps. So I'm not expecting to see 9 pull or anything, but I mean, Arkanoid has surprised me all season long in terms of build orders. We do have Overpool, not Overpool, Overlord being built from both sides, and both players are scouting to top left, so their Overlords may intercept each other if they don't go directly to the center in a second.
Yeah, one of the reasons why both of the players are scouting to the top side is you can see the Vespene geysers on the upper side. Whenever the gas is on the upper side or the left side, you don't have to put 4 workers on the gas. So that's the one of the critical thing that we have to thinking about. And looks like both of the players are just heavily droning up, and I guess 12 hatcher for both players.
Wow, mirrored builds, so they're just going to have an off-center hatch at their natural, which is fine. You know, in almost all the games I saw on YouTube of Arkanoid, whether they were Terran or maybe not Protoss, but Zerg 2, they were taking off-center hatches. Okay, for a second, I thought that drone was going to go to the top side, and we were going to have a double expand, but not going to be the case. We have exactly mirrored builds, pool and extractor follow-up from both sides.
And both of the players will be eventually meeting up the Overlord at the 11 o'clock. And Hero is probably not going to be happy about when Soulkey is spawned at the top side, because the Vespene geysers are on the upper side. He doesn't have to put 4 workers, and Hero is the one has to be putting 4 workers in the Vespene geyser later on. And yeah, the Overlord hasn't met yet, but eventually they will. And let's see how much of drones both of the players will be making.
Yeah, so when you say the 4 drones, you're talking about the extractor at the bottom at the natural for Soulkey, for Hero, right? You're not talking about the main. Yes, okay. So that's the big difference here. And 1 drone really does make a difference in ZVZ. We've got both players just instantly sending a drone over there for... Oh, I thought he was going to insta-take the gas, but not the case.
Ooh. Looks like here's the one going to be spending the 100 Vespene gas for something else, and that is going to be Metabolic Boost on the way for him. 4 Zerglings are going to be attacking the Prowess Temple. He's not interested of taking down the Zerg Cocoon to put down another hatchery. I guess he kind of wants to just go for some type of like a timing attack and have that second extractor later on. And I don't think Soulkey has figured out the Zerglings are out on the map yet.
Yeah, that is interesting. I would have thought that he would take down the eggs first. Now, this is where practice comes into play. Can he kill these generators before the Overlord sees how many lings there are? If he can, maybe he can catch Soulkey off guard. But look at this. The Overlord that was going directly to the main switched course, and he's going to intercept the lings. So now he's going to get a full count on how many lings were actually built. He sees that it was 10. And look at that. Soulkey, because he scouted it, stops killing his buildings.
And he has to have that building on almost like a full HP because this number of Zerglings will be coming instantly. And yeah, Zerglings are just super duper fast of taking down the building, and we are seeing Soulkey. I don't know whether this is going to be a right decision making for him to put down the second extractor already. Maybe why not just put down one creek colony to make sure you actually can defend here. And the number of Zerglings are here checking out. Hero also checked out. Soulkey has quite a lot of Zerglings are waiting at the Protoss behind of the Protoss temple. And now this time Soulkey is the one breaking out and moving out. They're gonna be meeting in the center of the map. Oh my god, right clicked.
He right clicked, but is this a mistake? This is just a pure ling flood from Hero. It's just pure lings. Does Soulkey have enough? Okay, that's a tiny choke. He's gonna try and get the arc advantage. Okay, Soulkey should have enough. This is not the angle Hero wants. Definitely needs to turn around. He's gonna lose so many lings if he engages right there.
Well, now the Mirrorless Producers are now on the way for Soulkey. Soulkey has the Vespin Gas lead here. Once he is able to hold off the Zergling flood before the Mirrorless pops or after the Mirrorless pops, then this is going to be a huge lead for Soulkey. And now Hero knows the Mirrorless timing. 5 minutes 40 seconds, that's the time of the Mirrorless are going to be popping out from the X, and he knows about this. He'll be immediately pulling back all of his Zergling. But does Hero know Soulkey has the second gas much faster than his?
Yeah, Soulkey's got a huge supply lead, 42 to 33. He's killed so many lings with his own lings. Hero's in real trouble unless he can try and like catch some lings out of position or catch the mutas out of position. This feels like Soulkey's at an advantage, especially since he has that additional gas, like you said. And there's the 4 drones that you were talking about. So Soulkey should have at least one more drone mining minerals more efficiently, and he also has the faster gas, so he flat out has more mutas right now at 7 to 6. And remember, in the Odyssey game, he actually ended up having +1 armor rushed, so he may even have upgrade advantage too.
Hugely with the number of the supply count. And now, I mean, Hero also has decent amount of Mirrorless as well. So now this time, Hero is trying to squeeze all of his larvae and the resource for the timing attack. But Soulkey hasn't spent all of his Vespin gas yet, but he does have that supply lead. But that's about 9 Mirrorless for Soulkey. How about you, Hero?
Oh, he found the drones. He found the drones. He got 3 of them, but ours Muta's stuck. We're going to have a big engagement here. Scourge Connect for Hero. No Scourge Connect for Soulkey. It looks like actually Hero's out-microing Soulkey right now. But in response, it's a massive Ling Flood. And we're going to have base trade scenario because there's no way Hero can hold this. I don't think the Lings plus Sunkens can hold this. How many Mutas for Soulkey? It's 8 versus, I think, 10. I don't think he can win this air battle. They're heavily damaged, too. Oh, that's so many Scourge.
Wow, that's a huge Muta Micro. The Muta Micro, big win for Hero, but the Zergling counterattack is also going to be doing quite a lot of work here. Picking out 1 or 2 drones, second drone will fall. Kisanka will last at the last moment.
That's such a clutch defense. It ends up finally dying in the end, but that was a really good hold from Hero though, but he lost. He had no mineral income that entire time because he's just mining the gas at the natural, so he wasn't being able to produce anything. Meanwhile, Soulkey's econ has gone unhindered other than losing those couple drones at the gas, and this kind of puts Hero all in right here. He's got to do damage with these mutas, otherwise Soulkey's going to start running away with it, which he's already started to because it's 42 to 35. This is a lot of Scourge from both sides. Can anybody get some connections? Really good fire from Hero, but there's so many Scourge left over for Soulkey.
Such a huge such a huge lead for Soulkey here, and also the worker count as well for Soulkey to defend. And Hero he seems very desperate to end the game here, but okay, that's a very bad Mira micro from Soulkey, what I just saw with the Scourge connection. But here is the giant Mira battle. I would like to see the number of the Mira count. The Mira count seems about to even 3 versus 3, but one Scourge was actually supporting for Soulkey, and this is Soulkey's territory where he can actually defend. And couple of Zergers will go for the backstab as well, so now that is gonna draw the attention away for Hero.
Oh, he might have done it. I thought actually Soulkey ended it with the Muta battle, but really good control from Hero to salvage that attack. But the two Lings are just a menace. The Sunken's gone, so he has no way to stop the army from, or stop the Lings from getting kills. Good control just everywhere from Soulkey. He's still got about a 7 supply lead, 31 to 24. Oh no, he's starting to pick off Overlords, and it's going to start snowballing.
And this seems that's not good for Hero, and those Scourge connects to those two Mutalists, and now Soulkey's gonna have that huge lead with the Mutalist count, and more Mutalist additional reinforcements are also coming, and Soulkey's the one gonna be squeezing all of his timing, all of his larvae for the timing attack, but Scourge does connect on those two Muta. But will he be able to defend? I don't think so.
I don't think so. The Mutic Micro is just too good from Soulkey, and he can taste it. He's on the brink of victory. This has been his matchup that he's not been able to overcome for so many seasons, but this could finally be the time. The Scourge trying to save the base of Hero. They're so close to connecting. One connects, but it's not enough damage to actually take down a Muta. Okay, now he finally knocks down, I think, 2 of them, but supplies are just so low for Hero. Where are Hero's Mutas? I thought he sent a couple across the map, but I don't see them anywhere.
Yes, Scourges are constantly getting connected to those Heroes Muta. Yeah, the supply is almost nearly the more than a double, and Soulkey desperately doing the Muta micro. Not the best Muta micro in the world, but still managed to pick up the Scourge really well, and looks like this is going to be a GG moment. Hero lift off his hand, I believe, earlier, and there is GG's called.
GG comes out, and finally he's able to take down the series. He started up 2-0. Hero with a great comeback, and that is going to complete Soulkey's ZVZ run. He finishes in 3rd place, taking down Soma, taking down Zero, taking down Hero. He eliminated, I think, every single Zerg since the round of 16.
Yeah, I guess Hero. I guess I thought he was kind of good at ZVZ matchup, but seems like not today. Not a great condition for Hero to play really well today. And Soulkey actually proved to us that he actually overcome with the ZVZ matchup. No one can stop his ZVZ now.
Yeah, it seems like the tides are turning in his favor. I'm looking at the actual Zergs that were not eliminated by Soulkey. Miso was not eliminated by Soulkey. Jaedong neither, and Damo and Shine. But he eliminated all of the absolute strongest Zerg players. Soma, Queen, and now Hero in the 3rd and 4th place match. He's got to be feeling fantastic that, of course, he didn't get the championship, which is what he wanted. For him to overcome so many top-tier Zerg players, that's going to, I'm sure, give him a massive confidence boost going into ASL Season 15.
And Hero did such amazing Muta micro in her early mid stage of the game with the 8 Muta with a bunch of schedules coming. And I guess we are gonna go into the winners interview. And this is ASL Season 14 3rd place match. We get to see it was a ZVZ matchup against Soulkey versus Hero, and the 3rd place it is going to be belonging to Soulkey. Congratulations, and we would like to hear how you feel tonight. So Soulkey is saying that he didn't really prepare off today's game, but he kind of wanted to have some relaxed moment, clear up his thoughts and try to play some relaxed game, and that kind of helped him out well.
만족해내고 오히려 그 부분을 통해서 더욱더 성장한 모습을 좀 경기 안에서도 느낄
So
수
throughout the
있었던 것
season in
같아요.
ASL Season 14, you showed us you improved in the ZBZ matchup. What was the most memorable game for you of the season? And Soulkey is saying that a lot of audience are expecting, and also saying Soulkey is not good at ZBZ matchup, but he actually showed us, he showed to the audience that he improved in the ZBZ matchup. But now the audience are saying Soulkey is not good in the best of 5, best of 7 matchup. So there's another problem that Soulkey wants to improve on.
현장을 찾아주는 동료들 덕분이 아닐까 하는 생각이 드는데요.
We are thinking that quite a lot of fans and also your teammates from NSU team rooting for you, and that's a financial supporter from NSU. She is the one helping a lot, supporting with a lot of ways, and he wants to say thanks to her, and also for his fans. He feels really great that he was able. He feels great about he's getting the third place of the season, and he pretty much wants to say thanks to those supporters. And the next season is ASL Season 15. You're in the round of 16. You are still a player. And any last word to your fans? He was desperately wanted to go for the final stage, but was a bit unfortunate. He wants to say thanks to. He wants to mention about NSU, the chairman Namsun. He wanted the chairman to watch the ASL final stage, but was a bit unfortunate for his ASL journey. And he also wants to say thanks to his chairman because he was giving him lots of time for his ASL journey, and not pretty much excusing him from coaching the female students. And he also wants to say thanks to his fans who came to the studio. We would like to see you great performance from for the next season. What is your goal for next time? Soulkey, since he was not able to make it into the final stage, so he kind of has that more. He kind of has that more of a thought that he wants to make it in the ASL final stage for the next season. So he'll try his best, and we're gonna be expecting to see you for the next season. And thank you. Congratulations making it into the third place.
Well done. Well done from Soulkey this season. Rundown of how today went. 2-0 in favor of Soulkey initially, then Hero striking back to even it up, but in the end it's Soulkey, the one that prevails, taking the final map of Arkanoid. Really tight game, really back and forth. The Ling counterattack just interrupted too much econ from Hero. I think Hero was trading really well with the mutas, but it's just so tough when you just don't have any money to build any more mutas. Like, he was the one that could only build Scourge.
Yeah, right. And Hero was desperately wanted to end the game because he was the one choosing. I mean, whenever it's a mirror build, whoever is going for the offensive play in a mirror matchup or mirror build, then you kind of have that less equal compared to the opponent, and yeah, that kind of fell apart for Hero for the late game potential. And Royal versus Rush is going to be cast on October 8th, Saturday 5 p.m. And I'm excited to see this TVT matchup. A lot of people are saying TVT matchup is boring and slow tempo. There's not much of things that are going on. But whenever high level players are playing each other on TVT matchup, it is exciting and super fast, speedy play style.
It's definitely. It has to be high level play, because if it's not, then I agree, it is super slow. You sit there behind tanks and mines. But as soon as you get to high level, I mean, you can literally lose a game simply because the opposing player has their barracks alive and they can get vision of your tank line and just slowly but surely kill your tanks from a distance. Like, the level, the small details matter so much, and it can lead to just a crazy TVT and somebody overwhelming the opposing player real quickly. who do you think's gonna take it, man? Do you have a favorite here? We've got Royal. He killed it in ASTL, which was a few months ago.
Well,
But we've got Rush too.
I wanna root for Royal. I mean, Royal was the kind of like a. Not a lot of people are expecting Royal as a good player, but for me, since I'm still playing competitively and participating in all those kind of like a competitive scene and seeing how other pros are playing, I want to root for. I'm gonna be rooting for Royal because a lot of people are saying Royal's not a good player. But whenever I'm seeing Royal playing, he has a different taste of optimization compared to like Flash, Light, and or Rush. Like how they're just pretty much like playing like a standard play style, and Royal's just pretty much unique with his play style. I really want to learn from him.
Yeah, he has a lot of interesting builds. I want to know who's telling you that Royal's not good because this guy is crazy good. But actually, I'm gonna go on the other end. I'm gonna go with Rush. It's just he's been so good for so long, and I think it's funny every single season he makes the ID ASL whatever champ Rush. I feel like now's his time, right? He paid his dues. He went to the finals a couple seasons ago. He got second place. Now it's his time to shine. So I would really like to see Rush win the championship. I mean, it's not that I don't like Royal because I love Royal. Royal's fantastic. I like how he innovates the meta, especially the TVP, and also he had a very pure reaction when he made it to the finals. Falling out of his chair. So I would be hyped for either one, but I gotta go with Rush.
And I think this casters are talking about some other stuff that's not related with the StarCraft. I cannot hear them clearly, but they should be wrapping it up soon. And Royal versus Rush, it is going to be best of 7. Don't forget, it is going to be cast at 5 p.m. 2 hours earlier than the usual time.
Yeah, 2 hours earlier. I'm gonna be a zombie. I'm already waking up at 5:45 to cast the normal ASL games. That means I'm gonna be waking up at 3:45. I'm almost thinking I shouldn't even go to bed. It's also gonna be on Saturday, so keep that in mind. It's not gonna be on Sunday like it was today. But definitely you don't want to miss this. I mean, this is going to be the absolute top tier Terran versus Terran. All season long, we've had really good Terran versus Terran games. Like, I think, what was it? Like, maybe not the absolute first series of the tournament, but Royal versus Sharp was amazing. Light versus Rush, which we saw in the round of 8, was amazing. Light showed us some cool plays with the 2-port Wraith versus Gasless, which I'd never seen before. But now I've tried it out on the ladder. I'm getting hard countered big time by Tank Goliath. But yeah, TVT has been exciting all throughout this season.
Yeah, yes, and I guess Hero has been showing great performance with the Zerg versus Protoss matchup, but I guess he still seems like he needs to improve on his ZVZ matchup because I guess it's just the impact from the previous seasons, how he was getting knocked up by Lara 4-0.
Yeah, well, ZVZ is very volatile. Sometimes you're hot, sometimes you're not. And this time around, it was Soulkey being the hot one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, we'll be back next Saturday with the finals. Are we going to have a new... well, we're definitely going to have a new champion, but is it going to be Royal? Or could we see for the first time ASL Champ Rush? Definitely tune in. It's going to be a great TVT.